Good afternoon. So glad you could be here today. And as you may know, my name is Ricky White. Work for Peralta Colleges Foundation. I'm the development manager for scholarships. And today we're going to give you a presentation about how to access the scholarship portal and how to navigate through that, some tips and tricks, and the things that you might need to submit a winning application. So we're going to go ahead and skip over the poll and get right down to the nitty gritty. And the best way, let me share my screen here.
Okay.
The best way to access the scholarship portal is by going to our foundation website, which is PeraltaCollegesFoundationWorkshop. And my screen's up there for everybody, yes?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So up in the right-hand corner, you'll see the Apply Now button. And again, the best way to get to the scholarship portal, because it's got kind of a long URL, is to go to the PeraltaFoundation.org website. And then in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the Apply Now button. I'm going to click on that. And this is our login screen. And so the important date that everyone should remember is October 1st, the application opened. And even more importantly, March 1st, 2022, the application closes before midnight. So students have quite a bit of time to get their application in and get all the, upload their transcript, I'll talk to, and their letters of recommendation and complete their required essays. So again, here's our homepage. Before we get into logging in or creating a profile, let's go ahead and just look at the scholarship search screen, which is here. And that'll give students an idea of the scholarships, the type of scholarships that we have. And right now we've got over 78 that are available through the scholarship portal. We actually manage over 100 scholarships, but not all of them run through the portal, just majority of them do. Okay, so again, there's a list of 78 with, again, their name, a brief description, and the eligibility requirements. There's a search feature. You can put in, say math and see what comes up with that, where there's a kind of an emphasis on math, science. So the John and Deborah Tunis Scholarship comes up, and they have scholarships available for each of the campuses. So they separate them out. And again, the BOG, I need to update that. So that's the Board of Governors waiver, I believe it is. And so it should be changed to the California College Promise Grant, that a student would have qualified for that, that they're majoring in any of math, science, business, industry, health sciences, as you can see, and that they're attending Berkeley City College and have completed at least 36 units. And it's the same requirements for the scholarship for each campus. We just separated them out. The Peralta retirees also feature a scholarship, which includes an emphasis with somebody it mentions the math, and so that's why it comes up. And let me go ahead, back up and clear everything. And students have the opportunity to select these different criteria to search and narrow down. But again, this list here is just informational. I put a lot of times throughout the year, students get confused and they're saying, like, how can I apply for just the Adeline Guittini Memorial Scholarship over at College of Alameda? I'm a design major and I want to apply on this one. And so all of these scholarships here, except for the Bernard Osher Scholarship and the Laney Metal Cutter Scholarship, you will actually use one application to apply for all of these scholarships, and that's called the Peralta Colleges Foundation Scholarship Application. It's a smart application, and what happens is based on the student's input, the system behind the scenes, it will match the student to every single scholarship where they meet the eligibility criteria. So it makes it fairly simple for the student. One application to match to many scholarships. So again, this is just a brief glance. It helps students as they're scrolling through, if they'd like to, that, maybe they are a design or a clothing design student, and they want to emphasize their goals, which is asked for in the essay portion, but to really put an emphasis on that, because there are going to be people, the College of Alameda staff for this program, for the apparel and design program, that are going to be looking at their application if they meet these minimum qualifications. So if we don't have any questions about this page, I'm going to go ahead and take us to home where we would log in.
I do have a question.
Please.
You said the SMART application will determine which scholarships the students are qualified for?
Correct.
So they don't have to scroll through any of this?
Actually, they do not.
Oh, okay.
A lot of times the students might want to say, well, what scholarships do you have available? Right. So this gives them idea of what's there. By completing this application and meeting the minimum qualifications for this scholarship, they will be put into that scholarship pool, that candidate pool.
Now, are the students self-reporting their GPA?
They are. However, they're also uploading their transcript, and then we do a transcript verification once the application is submitted, and we go through the kind of the evaluation process.
Well, I don't mean to be complicated or anything, but sometimes students might be applying for academic renewal at the end of the semester. Mm-hmm. So they should probably just wait until January to apply. That's what they should do. That's a great point. But tell me, what does academic renewal mean? That's, say for instance, if I'm having a student clean up their transcript, mm-hmm. maybe they got in the past when they first started a lot of F's and D's, yeah. But now they've really improved, and so I want them to have that not reported in their GPA. It still remains on the transcript, but right. It's not counted in their GPA. And usually they have to wait until they have accumulated so many units. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of that semester, like if they've accumulated like 20 units,
yes,
and there's been no bad grades in between, then mm-hmm. they can apply for academic renewal.
Nice. I love it. Well, absolutely, they should wait until that time frame when their records would have been cleared up, when they put in the work and obtain better grades. Again, the application does not close until March 1st. So this gives them that fall semester to help reach that goal.
Yeah, so I just have to make sure, because I have some students doing that. They usually screw up when they first start, and then they start improving. And so before they transfer, I want to make sure that they have their GPA higher and everything. And so I was thinking that they could still apply, but they could attach a note that I'm applying for academic renewal or something like that. But okay, I'll just ask them to wait. That'll make it easier.
Which is a great point, because I actually had a student reach out to me 2 days ago, and they were really excited. They'd already completed their application, the main application, the SMART application. Mm-hmm. And they were saying that, they put in an instructor's email address. Actually, it was an outside person who was going to give them a letter of recommendation. And then they said, well, the person hadn't received it. And so they thought, they wanted to give a different email address. That person said, I don't really use that one. Is there a way for me to upload a different email address? And the issue is that once the application is submitted, the student can't necessarily change their answers. But for letters of recommendation, which I will show, they still have the ability, even after they submitted their application, to send a reminder to that instructor, employer, whomever's writing it for them. They can add another recommender, or they can withdraw the other one of the recommenders that they provided. And then so for that particular situation, I said, go ahead and withdraw the person that you used for your recommendation, and then add them again with the correct email address.
Oh, okay.
And And so then I'm glancing through. So that was, he said, no problem. He was able to do that easy enough. And as I was going through his application, just because, you know, this issue had come up for him, I saw that he was new to Peralta and that he would qualify for very many scholarships because he didn't have a Peralta GPA and he didn't have any completed units at Peralta. So what I said to him is that what would be better is if I went ahead and opened your application back up, and then you have this time during the fall to complete, earn your GPA, complete some units. And then if you go back in January, you can report that new GPA for Peralta and those completed units, which will help you qualify for more scholarships.
No.
So he was on board. I went ahead and opened it last night and he's ready to go. So he said he's going to set himself a reminder to, you know, push that button and resubmit in January. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay.
I have a question as well.
Yeah.
So, I definitely want to take part in this opportunity to enroll or submit an application.
Mhm.
And I'm wondering, it's a really long application process. Is there, let's say that I complete and finish by the end of November, is there an opportunity to receive an answer before the deadline in March 1st and receive a scholarship by then? Or will everyone be receiving scholarships after the deadline?
Everyone's going to receive scholarships after the deadline. So regardless if you submit it today in January or the last minute, March 1st, everybody will be on the evaluated at the same time. So let's talk about that. Again, the application opened October 1st. It's through March 1st. After March 1st, on March 2nd, we'll have a community of people coming through, faculty, staff, counselors, community leaders to come in and help read and evaluate these scholarship applications. And it will take the month of March to do that. And then in the beginning of April, we'll start going through the transcripts and comparing those to what the students have on their application, and then making final decisions. And awards are generally distributed the beginning of May. Okay, yeah, so that's how it works. Let's go ahead, if everybody's okay with this screen, we'll go on to the homepage and log on in. And I'm gonna log in as a student who's completed their application already, just so we can, I want to touch on that letters of recommendation part. And you know what? Maybe it would be best, let's just back out. Let's go back home. Let me log out over here. So on the screen here, we've got the scoring rubric, and the students have access to this, as well as the evaluators, obviously. And I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And it just provides the students and the evaluators information about the point system that their application will be rated against. And so the student can print it out or just look at it online, and it gets into the kind of nitty gritty that would help them as they're writing their essay, do a better job, right? Give them some feedback and what we're looking for as they answer the prompts. So, and that's for both. So there's two required essays on the application. And let's make sure, do I need to update this real quick? Yes, I do. I'll go back and look at that to make sure that the questions is the same. Don't I already have it open? Okay, we'll come back to, I'll come back and just make sure, I want to make sure that the question here is what the students is going to see, but I believe it is. So we go ahead. All these controls are kind of in the way. Move this over.
I've dealt with that.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so a student, if they haven't created a login yet, it's just like any other system. This is the login screen. Then we click the button, and they haven't created a username and password yet. This lower corner here, there's a create new account. They'll click on that link. They'll create a username, password, answer the minimal questions, and have a security question they need to answer. With that, I've gotten a lot of, over the last 2 years of me being here, that sometimes the student forgets their answer to their secret question. And myself, I don't have access to that, and neither does IT. So it's really important that they remember it. Otherwise, they're going to need to create a new account and start over again. So just wanted to speak to that. And okay, so let's actually go into somebody else. This is okay. Superhero. So when a student logs in for the first time, I wish I can hide you guys. Okay, there we go. In the corner, Steve Smith, he's created an account. He's a student of school. His name is going to be up in the upper right-hand corner. Here's his welcome screen. Again, it defines our scholarship season runs October 1st through March 1st every year. Here's the two different, here's the applications that we have available for the student. And with these bullet points, they kind of speak to trying to really get the student to understand that they complete one application for about 70 of the scholarships that we manage, and the other couple are right here, or I guess you say the 76. So again, the 2021-22 Peralta Colleges Foundation Scholarship application is a SMART application, and based on the student's answer, they're going to be matched to all the scholarships listed on the scholarship search page where they meet the eligibility criteria. So, and again, please answer all the questions accurately, as this will increase the number of scholarships for which they will be considered. We've got 3 scholarship applications down here. The first one, the Bernard Osher Scholarship application, is for students that have completed 24 units already and have qualified for the California College Promise Grant. And the Laney Metal Cutter Scholarship is geared to Laney students who are enrolled in the machine technology program. So that's not going to be very many, but they have a separate application. Students are going to be concerned with, off the top, is the Peralta Colleges scholarship application, which is the bottom application here. And then the Bernard Osher, if they meet those 2 minimum 24 units completed. And that doesn't deal anything with GPA, but 24 units completed, enrolled in a minimum of 6 units this semester, and again, qualified for the California College Promise Grant. So to go ahead and start the application, we go ahead and click on the Start Application link. Over here, there's a little progress bar. The screen lasts, when a student is on the screen, each screen lasts or is available. The session doesn't expire for 45 minutes, but each time a student enters information, the system will go ahead and save it as they click onto the next field. As you might see, it's automatically saving over there, which helps. Before, we've had, students don't want to, if they run away, if they go into the other room to answer the phone or look at TV or whatever and forget about their application, sometimes you could lose some of your information if you, if the time lapsed for more than 45 minutes. So with the upgrade, again, each answer is being saved as you do it. Okay, so this is, again, basic information it's asking for. Go on to the next page. Again, demographic information. It's important if the student answers a lot of the questions, most of the questions, all of the questions, even the ones that aren't required, because it helps us as we are soliciting donors for more scholarships to tell them who our student body is, as well as it might help you if you missed a question that you needed to answer, that you qualify, you have the ability to qualify for more scholarships the more you answer and the more complete your answers are. So I'm just selecting randomly so we can get through some of these screens. Again, we see that important question, how many units have been completed at Peralta? And some students might be starting this semester first time at college. So it would be best for them to actually submit their applications after the fall semester so that they can upload their the current units they've completed and their GPA from the fall. Let's see if it'll let me pass on through here. And of course not saying wait. Any questions highlighted in bold, red need to be completed. Let's see here. What I want to do is, I don't really want to focus on this. Let's back out of here. And I want to go back in as Miss Sally Sue, who has a completed application, and what that'll look like. So again, student Sally Sue, she's submitted her Peralta Colleges Foundation application. And when she logs back in and scrolls down the page, she's going to see here that she can still manage her letters of recommendation. She can send a reminder to the instructor or her employer or whomever she asked for the letter of recommendation. So I'm going to click on that hyperlink and it's going to take me there. And so Sally Sue asked for Steve Jones, who just happens to have the mashriki.white@Peralta email address, to provide a letter of recommendation. It was sent today out to the teacher, and Sally Sue has the opportunity to send the instructor a reminder by clicking on the hyperlink here, or also if the instructor said that they wouldn't have time to provide the letter of recommendation, they can also withdraw that opportunity for the instructor. Okay, and send a reminder. And so it's been sent. I'm gonna kind of pause and let me bring you guys back up here in front of me. It's a little bit different with not having students for that feedback. What can I answer, or what more should we, kind of get into or delve into?
Ricky, sometimes I have students that they're returning, and so they have a lot of units. Yes. And they no longer qualify for financial aid.
Okay.
Would this prevent them from applying?
Not at all. Not at all. We're not tied to financial aid. The reason we have that question about the BOG waiver or the California Promise Grant is that some donors have said that they want, if they're kind of looking at the need, like the financial need, and they know that there's a certain level, threshold of need by saying that you received the California College Promise Grant, but not all of our scholarships require that, that you qualify for that. So they should still apply.
Okay.
Yeah, and certainly them having 100 units is not going to prevent them from receiving a scholarship.
Oh, okay. Because financial aid cuts them off at a certain amount of units, and then they're like, oh, well, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
I'll be here forever if I have to work. And I say, well, maybe you should apply for scholarships. And then I said, I'm not for sure if it's tied to financial aid in any kind of way.
And I'm glad you asked the question. And no, we are not.
No,
we are not.
Okay. Okay, yeah. That's good. Good to know.
Yeah.
Will
Let's see. Go ahead.
Will you be going over the Bernard Osher scholarship as well, or just mainly focusing on the main?
I was going to generally focus on the what? On the main scholarship application. The scholarship applications, let's log back in there. We can do that. Am I currently logged in? Oh, okay, hold on. Sometimes when I'm logged as the administrator, I can give the system a little bit of a hiccup. Log out, there we go. Student login. There we go, okay. Scroll up the page. And let's go ahead and start the application. And at the beginning of the Bernard Osher Scholarship application, and there are actually two, so we run Bernard Osher Scholarship in the fall and in the spring. We receive funds for both sessions. And so this scholarship has a different deadline, which I believe was November 15th, and that's posted on the home page or the application page, my applications page. I present the requirements just so I don't want the student to waste time if say they're a first-time incoming student. Again, the minimum qualifications are that you've already completed 24 units, that you're enrolled in 6, and that you've received the California College Promise Grant, which is formerly the Bob waiver. And so if you meet those minimum qualifications, you're going to go ahead and complete the application. And because Sally Sue has been into the system before and has worked on the Peralta Colleges Foundation application, a lot of the information, the data, is just going to translate over into this scholarship application. So let's go ahead and click on the next page. And again, just capturing demographics. Go on to the next page. And we'll go ahead and say, we'll say merit. And again, pretty straightforward application. Where the nitty gritty comes in and what's going to distinguish students is that writing portion. Because the scholarship application, the reviews, they are anonymous. So the students' identifying information is not available to the reader. They're not going to see their transcript, and they're not going to see their name or, of course, where they live and that type of thing. So all the readers have to go on is what the student shares on their essay. So it's really important for the student to answer the question, be very specific, share stories, be relatable, to really give, because they need to stand out. I mean, there's a lot of hardworking students at the colleges. So it's not that they have to have great achievements or anything. It's just being able to tell a story and about their life, to be authentic, and definitely proofread it. Don't wait to the last minute. Go to the writing lab, get help, do several versions of their essay, take it seriously. So for this year, for the Bernard Osher, I thought it would be great to change the scholarship question to more deal with community service. And that doesn't mean somebody has to be doing community service right now. We know students are busy. It could be now or the future. So I gave a little bit of history about Bernard Osher, and then the question the student would be answering is, as you can see here, why is it important to give back to your community? How does it help society? If you have the opportunity to give back to the community now or in the future, how would you do it? So minimum length 300, max 900. This gives the student a good amount of space to be able to express themselves. And it doesn't mean that they have to be doing something now, but start thinking about how could you help society, right? So it gives them a lot of room to be very creative, to think about problems that are currently happening, what they see in their own community at large. And so I think it's a lot of room to be able to express themselves and stand out. And what I've seen, I can't speak to this because this is the first time that we've asked this question this way. It's just that sometimes people feel like, oh, I can't complete a scholarship application. I'm not the president of the I don't know, debate club, and I'm not doing this and that. Sometimes people get, or students can get kind of bogged down or feel like, I don't know, less than, or that they're not achieving enough. You sometimes you get to see somebody and they've done so much, right? And you start to kind of shrink within yourself. And this is an opportunity. You don't have to, it's not necessarily about what you've already done, but how you can see how community service can help. So my thought on it. So I hope that you guys say, yeah, you did a great job, Ricky. That was an awesome question.
It is. It's a very inclusive question.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So, and this is it. This is it. This is the application. So the other couple of pages, that's just your basics, right? How many units have you completed? Upload your transcript. Do you belong to any clubs? If you do, great. If you don't, that's okay too. There's not a lot of scholarships that talk about like, oh, you have to belong to this club or that club. There's not a lot of scholarships that specify that. So it's just kind of more informational, and the reviewers will have an opportunity to see that. They checked that box. But again, it doesn't sway either way, and that's not part of the rubric to say, oh, did the person belong to a club? So yeah, that's it. And again, that's why it's such a big deal about how these essays, come out and how much time the student spends on them. Because again, this is truly, to me, this is the only opportunity the reviewer is going to have to learn about who they are and really connect with them.
Thank you, Ricky. It's very, very important for our students to have this information. I do want to follow this up with some information about an upcoming workshop on October 19th, which might help. That particular workshop is going to focus on the UC application, but the personal information question, personal insight questions, they really overlap with a lot of these scholarship questions. So I do encourage students to attend the workshop on October 19th. And I think, Ronique, if you have, you'll share the flyer, and maybe we can email it to Ms. Lavora as well. And then next semester, we are going to be doing a workshop specifically on scholarship essays. Okay. And hopefully schedule that earlier in the semester, like in February, so that students have time to get prepared for this.
Okay. I was hoping to be able to go to it, but I don't think it's necessarily important. I hope I could share this. Let me stop sharing and then see if Zoom will let me share my Word document. Because of course, Word's not popping up, right? As a shareable.
As you're looking for that, one question, some students might wonder, who reads these?
Who reads these? So again, it's faculty, staff, administrators, and then we have people from the community that read, such as people from Salesforce, BART, the Warriors, Oakland A's. We're reaching out to a lot of partners, and then community leaders, so business, local business owners.
Great. That's awesome. That's great.
Oh, and I wanted to share, and probably I can just go ahead and email you the questions on, because it's certainly not a secret, the essay questions for the main application. Because obviously, I think it would be very helpful. I mean, they're going to bring it to you anyway if you have a heads up, and then they can start thinking about how to structure their essay. And I don't. It's not behaving. It's not cooperating with me, of course. But I could go in the application as a administrator and look at it real fast. I just want to read it out to you out loud, if you don't mind. In white. Okay. Come on quickly. Criteria. Essay. Here we go. Okay. So the main question under personal statement is it's going to say for the student on the application, it's going to say, this is your opportunity to tell us your story. Cover topics such as what obstacles, personal and or financial, have you overcome to acquire an education? Why are you pursuing a college education? What degree or certificate program are you pursuing and why? How do you plan on paying for your education? What are your career goals? How will the scholarship help you achieve your personal, academic, and professional goals? So kind of it sounds like a mouthful, but really it's like, why are you going to school? What do you hope to achieve? What work are you going to do after? What are your career goals? Do you have any barriers, right? What's impeding you for financially? You know, it's just kind of talk about your life. What's your end goal for why are you going here? You know, and the student can answer, you know, part of it, but all of it makes a whole. I mean, as in, so to me, if the student took each question kind of in there and answered it, and then they could expound on it, right? Like you can add a couple more sentences, and then you've got, you know, a little good meaty hunk, and then you can start either brainstorming off of that, or, you know, I remember in school, and I used to love this one where you would do the kind of the circle, like you would have like a kind of a main idea, and then you would put branches off of that. I'm old. So
Still
you know,
works.
and then it would start breaking down into sentences, and then you can put it together. And yeah, so it sounds like a lot, but truly it's just, you know, why are you going to school and what do you hope to achieve?
And I think that one thing I'd like to add to that is,
yeah,
if the student does have an experience like a hardship or an obstacle or barriers, that they also explain how they've dealt with those barriers, how it somehow shaped them in some important way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's not enough just to state kind of the facts. It's how do you interpret those? How has it affected you? How has it changed you? Have you overcome it, or are you still going through it and still working through that? And that's okay too. Right. Just that you recognize it and able to explain and connect so that the reviewer can also relate. And even if it hasn't happened to them, they can feel moved, some type of empathy or understanding, right? We all want understanding.
You know, Ricky, I participated as a reviewer not too long ago.
You did?
And yes. And I was amazed that it didn't seem like a lot of students took it seriously. I mean, they write like, you know, incomplete sentences and, you know, kind of like just threw it together. And I said, they should understand if you want $500 or $750,
yes,
you have to make it sound good and make it look good. And they're not, a lot of them don't seem to be putting a lot into it. And I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
I even got, some students had people submit letters of recommendation. And the people that sent the letters of recommendations, they had like 5 or 6 sentences, and let it go. And
Right.
a couple of them didn't even have anything nice to say about the students, and that blew me away.
Right. Wow. Wow. Yeah. It's so I would like to say in workshops with the students is that it's really important for them to ask the instructor or whomever it may be, employer, some other community leader, maybe they're doing community service work outside of Peralta, and that's totally fine, right? It's
Okay.
somebody who can speak to them objectively and can speak to, their skills and their goals, the work they've been doing, right?
Right.
Want to ask that person ahead of time, give them enough time to create a great letter of recommendation for the student. You want to make sure that the student should be providing whomever they ask, like a little kind of a brag sheet. If the instructor, say it's an instructor that they just meet in the fall, right? They should be, the student should be asking the instructor as soon as possible, hey, I would really like you to consider writing a letter of recommendation for me. I'm applying for the Peralta Colleges Foundation Scholarship or, outside stuff. And these are my goals. Give them like a little sheet, sheet of paper, email them, tell them who you are, make sure, and then maybe, the teacher won't feel comfortable right now, but at the end of the semester, hey, I can do that for you. And then it's important for the student. So say if it's an instructor, to be asking questions, to be participate in class discussions, to ask questions, to go to office hours, be known, right? And even if you don't,
Right.
it's not that you're answering all the questions that you're asking, that you are that you're involving yourself in class, that you're being present, right?
Right.
So students need to know how important it is. Instructors, people are busy. And so instructors want to know that they're there to invest time into the students, and they also want to know that the student is taking this seriously. And so huge. And I've seen a few of what you're talking about. And it's disappointing, it's disheartening. And what I think is that they don't, they're not taking it seriously. And maybe they haven't done the work of even just looking online to see like, what's a winning scholarship essay? There's plenty, there's no excuses nowadays because everything's on Google. You don't have to go down to the library,
Right, exactly. But it still looks like they're not putting in the effort or the time. And I know I offer workshops to my CalWork students just to help them prepare for scholarships. And I have a little template and I say, okay, this is all the information someone might want to know about you when you go to ask for a letter of recommendation. Here, take this with you and give it to them. Make sure it's all filled out. Clubs, organizations, community organizations.
Right.
What have you done? Do you have any kids? Are you first generation and all this other stuff? You need to include this stuff because I noticed that some of them weren't including that.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it's great to have that cheat sheet for them, right? Because they help to draw it out, because not everybody likes to brag about themselves, or not everybody thinks that what they have is a contribution, or that their story's out of the ordinary. But, being first generation, that's a big deal in pursuing this. Being the sole income provider and having, a kid or two, we know how hard that is, right? And then juggling school. It's important to share that, right? It makes it more relatable. And this person, might really need the additional help. They're doing so much, right? They're stretching themselves, and everybody, people who stretch themselves, we hope that they can get rewarded, right? That they
exactly.
Acknowledged in that way. So yeah, absolutely.
But I think more students need to take it seriously, because I was kind of disappointed with some of those letters that I was reading, and some of the essays.
Yes, well, I've seen where that there might be like five sentences, and it's like, that's not gonna get you to the top. There's a lot of hardworking students here that do put in the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you I'm going to do some copy and paste just so you can see that there are some students out there that did put in the work.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah.
I know a couple of my students actually received scholarships, and I was happy. I celebrate.
That's wonderful. That's great to hear. Yeah, yeah. I was hoping to hear that today. So hopefully more will be coming, additional, not just what we have right now, but throughout the year, of any new scholarship monies that come in that we have to run like a kind of a quick one-off scholarship that we put out there. Just, I guess we'll see what happens, but the more students apply, the more opportunities they have, right? So we want to get the, the scholarship submissions up. And I appreciate, you merit having this additional workshop this week to help. We're going to be holding 2 more Peralta Colleges Foundation on the 18th and the 21st. So about a week and a half out, I guess, going over the same thing, and hopefully I'll be a lot more polished then. Yeah, so we'll speak to writing. I'll have somebody on to speak to writing, because I always say I'm definitely not an English instructor, and I don't want to guide anybody wrong. I do have a lot of passion about it, and but having that good English solid.
Yeah. No, you did great though, Ricky. Yeah. You may
it.
not be an English instructor, but you know what to look for. And I think you have that insight that a lot of other, even English instructors may not have. So yeah, I think getting the word out on the workshops at all the different colleges, it might be really important to share that with everybody across the district, just because a lot of students they miss this information. We will be posting this recording on our Learning Center website, our college website. But I think it would be great if somehow we can send out or share invitations to students who participate in those special programs, like your programs, Lavora, and the learning communities, Sankofa, Umoja, Puente, EOP, all of that. Like somehow, if we can get them the information specifically, that would be great.
Yes, I'm thinking about, because not a lot of my students like to apply for scholarships because they feel like it's too much competition out there and everybody is doing everything except for them. They're busy trying to raise their kids, and so they can't be in clubs, and they're working and going to school and taking care of their kids, and that's their life. And so they don't want to try to even apply. And so I think what I'll do is just say, okay, all of you should apply, and then kind of review their applications, their essays. And I'm always promoting trying to get to know their professors and let them know that they're serious about their classes and all of that, so they can develop a rapport, and so that they can have someone write letters of recommendation. And so it won't be 2 or 3 letters. 2 or 3 lines. This is a good student. They deserve a scholarship. And that's it. But that's what I think I'm going to do, because it would be nice to know, and they would feel proud of themselves if they could actually get a scholarship. I know the few that I have encouraged to apply and that they did receive, they were proud of themselves. Hey, I got a scholarship. Hey. They're like, oh, I can do something for my kids, and I can go and get me a new whatever it may be. And they're doing things for the household, as well as doing things to promote their education. Oh, I remember one said, I could get me a new laptop. That was before COVID, of course. Yeah.
But have no there's no restriction on the monies and how it's spent.
Right.
Yeah. Apply, right?
Yes, apply.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you, Ricky, so much for coming. I really do appreciate you, because you're doing this every year with the Learning Center. Well, I know we've been doing it for the last several years, both on campus and now on Zoom. So I always appreciate that. And Ms. Ronique, if you can just wrap it up. And I know that we do have a workshop evaluation. I'm not sure if you want to have Ms. Lavora, well, why not evaluate the workshop? And then just know that we have, the Learning Center will have a recording of this video. So you can always take a look there. Yeah,
Okay.
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Again,
Thank you.
my name is Renique, and I work here in the Learning Center. Just a reminder that this is a co-sponsorship workshop with the Peralta College Foundation and the Learning Center. You can join us in the Learning Center. We provide free tutoring. Please join us. I'll make sure to, in the video, edit the link that you can reach us in the Zoom link where you can reach us. Our hours are Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. through 6 p.m., Monday and Friday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. We have tutors from all subjects, and we would love to assist you. We have writing tutors that will help you with the essays for your scholarship. So please make sure that you utilize the service that we have for you. And I believe that really concludes our workshop. I did post a workshop evaluation in the chat, Miss Lavora. If you can take maybe a few minutes to fill that out, we would love to have your input. And this is really our way to see what we need to improve or add or continue in our workshops. So thank you everyone for viewing. Thank you for attending. And thank you again, Ms. Ricky White, for providing this information to our students.
So happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
All right.
Mickey. Thank you,
Take care.
everybody.